Now, in the spirit of honoring this land that we are on, and here to open the exhibit with a ceremony, which he will explain to us, Danian Sakchekapo, sorry, I knew I was going to massacre that, is an Indigenous knowledge keeper. Thank you for being here. I'd like to invite you up so I could present protocol to you. Okay, so if you, thank you so much. You might, I don't know what's part of your ceremony, if you will explain to the audience the purpose of that, but I'll leave it to you now. Thank you for being here.
I wanted to bring my lunch because I didn't get to eat earlier. Bonjour, Pache. Wapskoti gato to go wapskima kadodum. Egege wapskima kundisnikas. Mas match. Nemenendan. Oshigak negabizaiguma. Egedish gegi not so kanak. Oshigash bigadig masikizik. Bindigun wichishin oshino. My name, as she said, she butchered it a little bit, but that's okay. I've been hearing that for pretty much my entire life. Sakchekapo, Daniel Sakchekapo. But my real name is actually Wabshkiwatigatotgo, one who hides a white heart. And I come from the polar bear clan. The other name that carries me is polar bear. My GST check name is Daniel Sakchekapo. So Daniel is a lot different from Daniel. But what happened was when I was born, they said they wanted to name this boy Daniel. They brought me to the hospital, and the nurses says, "Oh, these natives don't know how to spell Daniel." Crossed it out and wrote Daniel. So that's why on my ID it says Daniel, not Daniel. Now I have some tools in this bag, and I'm talking about actual tools. And I would like to kind of give not just a prayer and a song, because I'll be singing for you guys, eh? And I really wanted to open up in a way where I heard, I'm so bad with names, Jan, talk about inclusion and people being included. And it's going to take me probably about 5 hours to explain that small thing that I just said in my native language. Because in my Anishinaabe language, the words that are said means so much more than English can ever captivate. And I say that with humility. Let's say a husband was to say to his wife, "You are very pretty." Shout out some answers, people out in the crowd right now, huge crowd. Shout out some answers. What's higher than pretty? Beautiful. What's higher than beautiful? What's higher than gorgeous? What's higher than majestic? What's higher than stunning? Perfect? What's higher than perfect? That's what I'm talking about. It's very hard for an Anishinaabe person to say to his wife, or vice versa, Mawich Geminishish. There's no true translation to really explain what that means. You might as well try to explain to somebody how heaven looks like. No one here on Mother Earth can do that, not until we're gone. I would like to, when I pass away, I would like for a friend of mine, and I have a friend up here, to say, "This is just the shell, eh? The nut is gone." So, what I spoke about is, like I said, very hard to explain. I don't have much time. But I would like to sing a song for everybody because some of the stories that the people are sharing is a gift. It is. That's the life that they lived, that they gone through, all the struggle, all the different stuff. That's a beautiful gift that these people are giving you, beautiful teachings that these people are giving you. Through an indigenous lens, that's something that every story that we have has an atzokanic to it, has a spirit to it. So with this song, and as I'm singing, I'll be praying for everybody to not just read these gifts in a good way, but to actually take them in, to feel and experience what these people have gone through, the struggles, and also them being able to overcome some of these struggles. Does that make sense? So with this song, all rise. So the reason why tobacco is given is it's the first of things, the first of medicine to be used. Whenever you want guidance, whenever you want a good story, or if you want a song sung to you, or a prayer done for you, or any kind of to bring, some people call it good energy, but for Anishinaabe people, for indigenous people, we say good spirits. When sema is given, tobacco is given, it it allows us to be able to bring those good things that you guys are asking for. When cloth is given, I'm gonna put these tools down. When cloth is given, it's actually almost like, I wish I had something flat, but I don't. When you fold it a certain way, in the center is the here and now, in this moment. And in this moment, you're never going to be here again. So when you do something important for yourself, you're in the here and now. You're asking for all of your ancestors to come into this moment. All the different things that your family line has been through to get you to be here. So then we fold that and say, Being the girl will come here. But since you're doing something good for yourself, all of your future generations is getting that little bit of knowledge, a little bit of that healing, a little bit of that guidance. So we ask for them to come. When everything's all symmetrical, that's how we give cloth, the same miigwech, 1 meter each, for that spirit of those stories that we're asking for. Does that make sense? Eh, Anybody not getting what I'm trying to throw down here? So I say miigwech to this cloth, and I'm not just coming up here singing a song and sharing some teachings and I get to go home. I have to do something with these afterwards. So whenever you out there want to go talk to an elder or a knowledge keeper, understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we have to do. And then there's a gift. This is a beautiful gift. Look, it's a heart. I love it. Miigwech. Now, what more that I wanted to speak about is that a lot of the words that I heard before I came up here were very well spoken, very, very beautifully said. Um, but I'd like to kind of bring it a little bit further than that. Now, is there anybody here that has only a grade 8 education? No? Okay. Well, one of yous pretend that you have only a grade 8 education? I need a volunteer. Oh, we got a volunteer. Come up here. The lady that put up her hand. So I want you guys to use this kind of as an analogy or a story, right? Because addictions I've dealt with for a very long time within my career, even in my own personal life. And you need the right tools to be able to get rid of that issue in your life. Would you guys agree with that? Yeah, okay. So with the grade 8 education, there, this is a grade 8 education here for you. With your grade 8 education tool, try to break that chain of addiction. Oh, you almost got it. Thank you very much. I did long distance handshake. There we go. Who here only has a high school education? Okay, Sophie. Oh, okay. Come up here. Come on up here. This is your high school education tool right here. With this tool, try to break that chain.
You're right.
Yeah. Give it a try. Come on, use your bingo hand. Thank you. Not the way. Who here has a university degree? Really? Okay, come on up here. Okay, yeah, you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll do this for you, and then I'll pass it over. So I'll open it for you, and then there you are. Now with that university, yes it is. With that university degree, try to break that chain of addiction. No? Okay, thank you very much. Long distance? There we go. You need the right tools. You need the right tools to be able to break that. Now, when it comes down to this land, and I'm not talking about Treaty 6, I'm talking about Turtle Island. For us, we have no borders. There's no lines. I should be able to walk on my land. I should be able to walk into America right now and have nobody stop me because it's Turtle Island. I don't identify this being Canada. And I know that that's a sensitive topic and that might upset a few people, but I need to tell you the truth. When there's these treaties, it is a beautiful thing. But I feel, and I could be wrong, that we, as the indigenous side that signed these treaties, are the only ones that are following our side on what we said that we were going to do. Does that make sense? So I don't mean any disrespect in saying that. Now, when I say break that chain of addiction, I really mean that the right tools is needed. How many people here identify as Canadian? Put up your hand. All right. It was kind of funny. I got this phone call from Strathcona County. And there was this lady, and she goes, "Hi, is this the Native organization?" And I said, "What, what can I help you with, ma'am?" And she goes, "Well, we're going to be having something fun going on here within our land. We were thinking maybe you guys could maybe bring some teepees, maybe play a little drum and powwow music, and maybe just do some indigenous things." So I said, "Okay, sure. Like, are you wanting teachings or like what do you like? What would you like to get out of it?" Then she says, "Well, just anything Native American, because you guys are Native American." So this is a teaching moment for me. So I said, "Ma'am, you see me as Native American." She goes, "Yeah, you're Native American." I said, "What about my Yellow Nation brothers and sisters?" She goes, "Asian American." I said, "What about my Black Nation brothers and sisters?" She goes, "African American." I said, and yourself, ma'am?" She goes, "Oh, I'm Canadian." And I said, "How would you feel if I said you're European American?" And she goes, "Oh, I don't like that." And I said, "Interesting. That's very interesting. I'm Native American, Asian American, African American, but you're Canadian. So, in order to break these chains, you need the right education, a different way of thinking. To be able to break that chain of addiction, it's good to understand the teachings of this land. And I'm not talking about just Treaty 6, I mean all of Turtle Island. Our stories, our songs. There's a big difference between appropriation and appreciation. Would you guys agree with that? So I would like for somebody who I know personally that is learning the culture. She has been to the sweat lodge. She has come to drumming ceremonies. She has come all over the place to many different things. And I really see her as an ally. Her real name's Alicia, but I call her Sophie. And the reason I call her Sophie was she was sitting in the sweat, and I went, "You're next, Sophie?" And she goes, "Alicia." I said, "From now on, you're Sophie." And that was 5 years ago. So, my friend, if you can come up here. And she's Chinese. She's not of this land. She's going out of her way to understand this land. So, with that kind of education, go into my magic jacket there. Yeah, you can open it up. This is the indigenous understanding and knowledge of this land. Because we have a lot of teaching. I've only shared just a little bit. And I saw you put your head yes and in agreement. So with what I said earlier, I would take the entire time that we have to try to explain what I was trying to say. But this tiny little thing that we did, it was a little fun. I liked it. Is basically what I said in my indigenous language, in the language of one of the many languages of Turtle Island. Before I let you go, one fact is that if you were to Google on your phone right now to see how many people were here pre-contact, 1492, it would only say 100 million people. Our stories and our history and what we remember, there was over 650 million people. There's more. That means that right now in what Canada and America is, Turtle Island, there's only 579 million people today. That means that there was more people back then than there are today. And I want you to think about that because the indigenous population probably consists, we'll say a good round number, let's say 10%. Let's just say that 10% people. Now, out of those people who know their customs, traditions, and language is probably about 10%. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's the truth. That's the dead way when that the Anishinaabe people speak. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of factual information about what we remember. Because if you look throughout history, right, the history writers are the ones that won the wars. Does that make sense? And I think that with this, I'm going to end by putting it on my thing and just saying one more story before I go. It'll be very quick. Is have you guys ever gotten anybody a present? Put up your hand if you have. You ever put so much thought into this gift that it's going to keep giving to that person? Put up your hand if you have. You ever try to wrap it so nice? I suck at wrapping, by the way, but you put ribbons and then you kind of do that knife twirly thing and it's all. You guys ever do that? Try to make the present look beautiful? Yeah. Have you ever like went to that person, you're driving and you're like getting all excited, you're playing it in your mind. Oh, they're gonna, I can't wait to see the look on their face when they open up this gift. You guys ever get more excited than the person actually receiving the gift? How would you feel if you gave that present and then it sat there and you come back 6 months to a year later and it's unopened, collecting dust? Shout out some answers. Hurt? Sad? Mad? That's it? Disappointed? Anybody feel unappreciated? Yeah. So sometimes I wonder how Creator feels when we're given this precious gift of life and we go through it and we don't ever open up our gift. Does that make sense? You guys coming down here and listening to a guy who doesn't really know what he's talking about share some teachings, that's you opening up your gift a little bit. And when you guys hear these amazing stories, it's going to be fully open. I promise you that. Have a good night.